Hey guys, welcome to the
Oh,
newest video of this channel. In this video, we're basically going to be talking about if Rocket League is hard to start or is it hard to get into compared to
compared to
other
other,
game
yeah,
genres
compared to other, yeah,
or just games in general. So
yeah.
yeah, um, let's start off.
By saying that it's obviously easier to learn than other games.
What? Nah.
That's
Yes.
100% cap.
Yeah.
Alright,
How? Okay, what about aim-focused games? Aiming is
let's
hard.
alright, let's first compare it to FPS games. Say Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex. Learning to aim isn't as hard as having to learn to steer and having to learn to hit the ball in every single part of the card. And say you jump wrong, it's gonna entirely affect what happens.
To be honest, it's actually pretty easy.
Alright,
Learning to
but
aim is harder.
no, but in FPS, learning to aim it's much easier because you don't have to focus on where the bullet's actually going to shoot because it depends on where your pointer is at. Where your
Yeah, but look. There's three main things you gotta focus on aiming. You gotta work on placement, recoil control, and never mind, two things. Those are the two things.
all right,
Those two things are
recoil.
really hard to master.
All right, I wouldn't say that recoil is that hard to master though, because
Yeah.
you could just like stop shooting for a second. It'll stop the recoil.
But the thing is, that's gonna give the opponent the edge. Even a millisecond will get you dead.
Yeah, but then you can jump in that millisecond.
What if they know how to move around with their aim is better than you?
I mean,
Then they can
honestly,
basically predict it and shoot
honestly, I
you.
think
But you're not always gonna find someone who has mastered how to shoot someone midair while
That's
they're
not
because
even mastering aim. That's easy. That's like medium aim. That's like average aim.
you
If
can
you know
jump around it. You can
Yeah,
jump
even
around that.
then, a normal person could probably hit 80% of their shots if someone were to jump around and stuff.
All right, and say how many hours does that usually take?
Probably like one day. I don't know, like maybe a month to
So
like
how many
completely
hours?
master it. Oh, not completely, but still.
1 second. All right. So, uh, say in Rocket League, the average person who's a gold has 300 to 500 hours. Gold. That's in gold is below average, 300 to 500 hours. So how many hours does an average person who has regular aiming have in Rocket in FPS?
Well, I don't exactly
a
know
long
because I don't
time.
know anyone's. I
Yeah,
don't know anyone's
yeah,
like
and then
hours and stuff. Probably like
gold
1,000 or something.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably
Not
5,000
not
around
even.
that.
Yeah, to be honest, like maybe 1,000, 5,000.
But I mean, I think we can all agree that for Rocket League, how hard it is to actually get into it, it depends on if you played a racing game or a car game, because all the
That is
controls are the
true.
exact same.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, so if
Look,
you
It's
play games
basically
like,
Mario Kart, but more realistic.
I
but
mean,
say,
not
alright, yeah,
realistic. It's a
Oh,
boosted
back to
car.
FPS.
without the boost,
Mar-
Yeah, but another thing is like, look, average Call of Duty, average level Call of Duty player has around 170 hours, and the gold usually has our average 300 to 500 hours is below average. The average
Let me
is
ask you something.
yeah,
What gold has 300 to 500 hours? That's still a lot.
not for Rocket League, not for Rocket League. High high level SSLs have at least 6,000 hours.
The thing is, how do you know all of this? Did you like look this up or something?
You look it up on Google. Google it.
Okay.
And say most pros like Squishy or Musty, those guys have over 14,000 hours.
I mean, that's because you're learning tech. But if you're just trying to get into it just so you can learn the basics or just know how to play the game, then it's probably gonna be easier.
Yeah,
Less
and
time.
say you're just learning the game, right? And you're not even want to be like, and you just want to be like an average player. You'd take at least 450 hours of consistent gameplay.
I mean, not 400. That's kind of a lot. I mean,
that's how it is.
maybe for beginners that haven't played racing games, but for people that already know how to play racing games or card games, I think
All right,
maybe
Yeah,
10
PC
if
is
they've
hours.
pretty easy
played,
to pick up.
I'd say if they've played card games, that makes a huge difference. Obviously, they know how to steer things.
Okay, look, I looked it up. So, a plat player has around 500 to 800 hours on the game, which is basically me.
Yeah.
So. But
And that's
a
plat
good
three.
FPS player has thousands of hours.
All right, I'm not saying good. I'm saying average. Plat 3 is the most average rank in Rocket League.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd say around 700 to 700 to 800 hours, and
Even an
say
average FPS player will probably have around a couple thousand hours. Maybe like not like over 5,000, but
all right.
like below that.
Now look it up. How many hours does an average COD player have?
Average COD player, thousands of hours.
No, look it up. It's 170.
I literally looked it up. If you want to get, if you want to, if a good COD player will have about thousands of
No,
hours.
no. I didn't say good. I said average. And plat is average for Rocket League. If you're saying good, then you move on to look up to SSL.
How
Average
about this?
supersonic
Let's look at Valorant. Let's look at Valorant. That's a pretty
average
enclosed
su-
game.
average supersonic legends have 3,000 hours or more.
Okay, look, let's
Wait,
check
platinum is
Valorant.
regular?
Valorant.
I'm not regular.
What? Yeah, platinum is the most rate plat 3.
I thought it was gold. I'm
No,
trash.
no, gold is below average.
Oh wow.
So if you want to consider yourself good at the game, it has to be at least champ. 1,200 to 2,000 hours.
I mean, it's just a game, bro.
And that's not even saying you get bad matchmaking. Say you get Smurfs, you're gonna have to take even more time to learn how to get around Smurfs as well. That's gonna be
Yeah.
another couple hundred hours.
Okay, crap. I have no idea how to check the hours.
I'm garbage.
But I know that Valorant has even been completely mastered before, so that's how you know that FPS games are still harder than Rocket League.
But great, but say if you mastered Rocket League, you'd be a pro. And
If you've mastered Rocket League, you'll be in Supersonic Legends, knowing how to master mechanics,
no.
knowing how to flip reset, and do musty flicks, cuxer pinches, all that type of stuff. But that's for like a complete pro. That's gonna take like how long again? How many hours? 6,000 hours?
Yes, the average professional Rocket League player has 6,000 hours, and I'd say you haven't mastered the game unless you've turned pro. And Supersonic Legends already 3,000, but
Well,
it's
then
not gonna be
let's see how long a professional Valorant player, how many hours a professional Valorant player has. Okay, let me look it up. Well, I'll edit this part out since no one's talking. Okay, so how long has Valorant been out so far? I'm gonna do math.
2009.
Like 2 years.
Yeah,
Okay, 365 times 24 times. Okay, so a professional Valorant player has possibly played a maximum of 35,000 hours on the game. Maximum.
what?
A maximum
Yeah,
Valorant player, like, professional, has probably a maximum of 35,000 hours. And that's because I did
30,
math, not because it's actually what
35,000 or 35,000 or 3,500.
35,000.
Or where do you see? Where did you see that stat?
Okay, so like this, I calculated a year times the days times the hours of a Valorant player plays in those days.
All
And
right, no. That's not going to be accurate though,
yeah, I know it's
because
not.
they're not only going to play Valorant.
That is true, yeah.
Because if you want to learn how, they're going to use games that are more. They're going to play different games that are more difficult in each thing. What's it called? running in one game is harder than the other, he's gonna play in the harder one so he can make it easier in the easier one.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me look this up.
Or maybe he's just gonna spend his time in aim lab, which doesn't really count as Valorant. And say, yeah, that's a professional player, but low, like Rocket League minor teams have players with 6,000. And then you talk about major teams too. That's completely even more.
Crap, why is it so hard to look up stuff? God damn.
All right, and as of 2 years ago, like 2 years, Squishy Muffins, one of the best players in Rocket League, already had 10K hours. Now it's gonna have even more, maybe even tripled by now.
Okay, the thing is he like, okay, no, yeah, what am I saying? He is a complete master at the game. So the thing is, look up look up Shazam's hours on Valorant, because that's basically the best jet player in the game. So he's pretty pro, and he hasn't even completely mastered the game yet.
All right, how many hours does he have?
I don't know. Can you look it up? I don't know. I tried to look it up, but I can't find it. Look, can you look it up?
He doesn't.
Wait,
He means
guys.
he has hours. All right.
Guys, we're missing out on the other subjects. We still have RPGs and platformers and stuff like that.
Okay, screw RPGs, screw platformers.
One player games.
Imagine
Imagine one player games. People spend a lot of time on one player games. RPGs.
Those
people
two
lose their lives to
genres
RPGs.
are not even that hard. It just requires you to have an IQ of above 50. It's that simple.
No, it's not that.
If you know how to think,
RPGs do not take as many hours.
Exactly.
RPGs you can beat the game.
I mean,
it's not someone who's gonna be able to find a way through.
I mean, MMO RPGs are different though.
They're much different, and they're easier.
Do you know what an MMO RPG is?
Rocket League is obviously harder than any RPG, any platformer, because those can actually be mastered in like a short period. Well, not like maybe like max 3 months.
Have you tried Ghosts and Goblins?
The only what even is okay? The only
Ghosts
thing
and
that
Goblins?
might be
okay.
The only thing that's harder than Rocket League is FPS games. It's that simple.
Nah.
No.
I think otherwise.
FPS games can't be mastered.
FPS can be as hard as Rocket League, except Rocket League is completely different though. If someone's played FPS beforehand, that's not gonna help them at all in Rocket League.
Well, it kind of will.
Because they have to learn about how. Yeah, alright. Aiming and hitting the ball in Rocket League is completely different though. Say, there's recoil, right? And when you're shooting, you get recoiled. But in Rocket League, each time that you shoot, say you hit the ball slightly off of your car by one part, like 1 inch, and you're not even realize, but it's gonna go in a different direction that you want it to.
And guess what? If you miss one shot, you're dead. In any FPS game, if you miss more shots than the other opponent, then you're dead.
But let's think of something else. But how many things do you have to learn to become pro in FPS?
3 things. You gotta master crosshair. I forgot crosshair placement, recoil control. Moving around your gun so you can actually adjust. Adjustments. That, and those 3 things. Yeah, crosshair placement, adjustments, recoil control.
Then let's look at Rocket League, right? So first thing, basically, flicks, right? Flicks. Air dribbles, because people generally use air dribbles to get around people.
I learned flicks in 2 days.
Alright, flicks isn't that hard. Then also aerials, saves, and then you also have to focus on shooting.
Learned aerials in 1 month.
Yeah, 1 month, bro. How many hours did you have in that 1 month? Probably a lot.
Let me think. Well, I didn't play every day, that's for sure.
Alright. But here's the thing. What rank are you?
I'm plat.
Plat what?
1.
Yeah, you're not good at the game then. You're below average. So you can't say that it's easy to master if you haven't mastered it yourself. And how many hours do you have in the game?
I don't even know, to be honest. I think it's over 1,000.
Yeah,
Or
over
more. Oh,
1,000.
no, not 1,000, not 1,000. 'Cause I played the game since it first came out. So, like, maybe
Yeah.
like 1,000 exactly.
I mean, it just turned platinum as
All right.
well.
Yeah, and if someone has 1,000 hours, he's probably gonna be in diamond. That means you should have You should have been at least better than at this point.
I've mastered half
Yeah.
flips.
So you haven't mastered aerials. You haven't mastered flicks. You have
I have,
dribbling.
actually. Flicks are pretty easy now.
And how come you haven't ranked up to at least diamond by now?
Because I never have the chance to dribble the ball. My teammates
Because
either
you
just hit it
don't
off
know.
my head, or I never
Because
get the chance to, because I'm just doing
because you don't
50-50s all
know
the
how.
time.
You don't know how to avoid your teammates in those situations to dribble the ball. Why do you think pros are able to rotate in solo queuing?
Because they're
Because
coordinated.
no, because their rotating is going to be completely different than certain SSLs. They don't have any chemistry with them.
Exactly. Rotating.
Yeah, rotating, that's another thing. Just learning how to look at the game properly. Because in soccer, you're going to stay in your position, right? But that's not going to be. But in Rocket League, you have to constantly change positions. And also, boost management. That's something that always gets people in trouble when they don't have enough boost.
And you want to
Or if
know
they
what
get
the
it,
equivalent to that is on FPSs?
recoil.
Ammo management. It's a
Yeah,
small thing, but
but
it's a looming threat.
yeah, but the thing is, in Rocket League, there's always the other person who could take your boost. It's not like someone else could take your ammo while you're reloading.
Yeah, but you're very vulnerable when you're trying to get boost, and you're very vulnerable when you're
And
trying to
say you
reload your
try to
gun.
avoid that, and you try to dodge forward, or you try to wave bash.
Actually,
Wait a minute,
people
Dodging
can
forward,
people can take the ammo.
something. FPS games and Rocket League have a lot in common.
yes,
Like
they do.
they
I'm
all
saying
have like their own thing that they have to master.
yes, they do. But Rocket League has more things that you have to master.
Well, not really.
Thing is,
Some of them are easier than others. For FPS, you have like four or five major things that you have to master.
let's say you want to pro, you also have to learn how to get around people that are better. Because say they have mechanics than you still have to not only be mechanically better, but you have to be what's it called? Practically better. Because say you have good mechanics, then maybe the other person has better saves than you, or they're gonna put you off guard and score an open goal on you. Say you have amazing skills, someone being practical is gonna be much better. Now that's something that you don't see a lot
That
because say,
that basically applies for FPS games as well. If you have good aim, then your opponent's gonna die. If you have okay, so let's say you have good aim, but the opponent has good crosshair placement, and let's say you don't. You're gonna die because the crosshair placement is gonna be straight on your head, and all they have to do is just click once and you're
alright,
dead.
but for crosshair placement, do you think that that is usually going to be easily learned with learning how
No,
to aim?
no.
Or what about yeah? Or
They each have
thing is,
their own strategies to learn them. They both have they
yeah,
all have their own difficulties.
that's another thing in Rocket League. Because say you learn to aerial, and but also air dribbling. Because if you don't learn to air dribble in certain ranks, you're not going to be able to get around people who have amazing ground control. And say getting into an aerial position and air dribble position is very different because if you're in certain positions, the ball's just going to go away from you, and you're not going to be able to dribble in the air. Rather than they would have the ball much easier because it would be on the ground eventually.
And also for FPS games, you also have to be smart because you have to hear footsteps and stuff. You have to predict where an enemy is going. You have to predict, like, let's say we're playing like Warzone or something. You gotta predict, like you literally gotta map out where enemies are going so you don't go to the wrong place and stuff.
That completely applies to Rocket League. Someone's coming behind you from full boost. You can hear them boosting and say that they want to demolition you. The same thing for placement. If you want to
No,
make a save,
okay,
you
like
have to if you want to make a
demos.
save, you have to predict if where the person's coming from. Is the person's going to shoot? Is going to shoot left or right? Say you're in the middle of the goal. you don't have the time to turn if he tricks you.
Yeah, but wait. Okay, about the demolition thing. It's so easy to predict a demolition, but footsteps are actually hard to hear. Like footsteps are hard to master.
Boosting isn't easy to hear either.
Yes, it is. All you gotta
you're
do is jump once. If you hear a boost coming at you, just jump once. It's that simple.
Yeah, but say they're smart enough to stop boosting and just switch to their supersonic.
What are they gonna do? Put you in a rule number 1?
Or that's also another thing. Rule number 1, because Rocket League's not ethical to get out of rule number 1. Say it just rise into your own goals.
For those who don't know who rule number 1 is,
jump, the other person can also jump and just demo you in the air. Or say they stop boosting, they'll just bump you out of your position.
Okay, for our viewers, for those who don't know what rule number 1 is basically when two cars get stuck into each other, like they're ramming into each other and they can't get out. Like if they turn, they get out, but you're not supposed to get out. So that's rule number 1. You gotta stay like that forever until someone boops you out. So yeah, but still, that's gonna put a disadvantage on both sides. So it's equal.
Alright, so we'll come to the conclusion that Rocket League some aspects is FPS, some aspects is harder. RPGs much easier.
Yeah, no, okay, screw platformers, screw RPGs. They shouldn't be talked about here. Okay, so let's talk about other genres first, and then we'll go back to this topic because it's gonna be a long talk.
I think we covered pretty much all we need to talk about.
Yeah, I guess. So let's talk about MOBAs now. Yeah, MOBAs.
What? What's that?
Do you not know what a MOBA is?
Nope.
Okay, guess we're not talking about MOBAs.
Wait, what is it though? I might know what it is, just not the name.
It's like League of Legends, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, alright. Okay, I don't think that people play those religiously, but they still manage to get good at those.
Yeah, that's true. I know League of Legends people play it more than Rocket League. Maybe too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any experience in those, so I don't know if you have say in it.
Yeah, I understand, but I think mainly those games are meant for people play it more for fun than like religiously, as if the way
there's a rank system, and it's probably League of Legends is like the most played game of all time.
Yeah, I understand that. It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
League of Legends is not for fun. People just take it way too seriously.
Alright, I would say that about League of Legends. Yeah, it is played like religiously, but for like maybe World of Warcraft or games like similar to it, I don't think it's played as religiously.
World of Warcraft isn't a MOBA; it's an RPG.
I mean, by the way, we could still talk about sports games because you know how people like FIFA and 2K.
No. We don't talk about sports games. Those games are easy. Just spam every button that you have on your controller.
No, Brett, that's not gonna work out. FIFA,
yes, I do it in online, and I literally win games.
No, Brent, that's probably cap, because you should see the FIFA players that have the nuttiest skills ever. They'll just dribble over you. They have the insane passing play. That's because they have to focus so much as if they're an actual soccer coach. Those games are not easy to play unless when you go up against those ones playing in esports. Or maybe just someone who has like maybe 200 hours in the game, or someone who just watches tutorials.
Yeah, I can say from personal experience from playing FIFA 13 on the 3DS that FIFA is annoying.
Yeah, those games will get you very tilted and pissed because they're not easy.
Oh my god, I just can't. Especially 2K as well, since actually has lined up and everything.
Yeah, and Madden. But we could always eliminate PGA Tour because always golf is easy.
Yeah.
Alright. But Yeah, I would say sports games do have a level of that you need to have.
I
You
can
do have to
spam
be
and I
pretty
win
motivated.
games.
Sports games aren't even spamming. If you spam, you're just gonna kick the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, that's true.
No. Okay, no. So you know how you know how in FIFA you have a stick that'll just make you do random dribble moves. I just swirl that around and I cross someone.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out when you play against someone who actually plays the game.
Yeah, if you're gonna look at the computer, that might work, but actual people online, nah.
I actually did it against an online person. Like I have some skill in FIFA. Like I know the dribbles because I spam and I see what they do, and I know how to dribble a bit. So I
But
just
that's
mix spamming plus that and I cross them.
Yeah, but
that would
you
only
don't really
work
play
for
FIFA online,
so
so
long. Because if you just play against the bot matches, the bots aren't even close to as good as most players who play it for fun, at least.
yeah, especially
Another thing
if
is,
you don't play the game a lot, your skill level's not gonna be too high, and you'll get matched up against people that don't play the game.
yeah, and it's not even about just being smart in the game or having good skills in it. It's also something to do with motivation, as a lot of the time those games get you very tilted in the way that people break their controllers all the time for that.
Yeah.
They lose all motivation for the game. To stay at that level with the amount of rage that you're gonna have in that game is pretty hard. And the same
Yes.
goes for like NBA and Madden. Like that happens to people in those games too.
Yeah, especially with 2K, you can't really spam because the net is not that big, so you have to actually calculate it and everything. You get like,
Yeah, those games are not easy once you start playing against actual people who play the game. Another thing that we could cover is that RPG games
yeah, that's true.
or like story mode games.
Those do not compare to Rocket League and first-person shooters.
Yeah, that's what
They
I'm
ha-
saying.
yeah.
I think that people uh, beat those games because they play for fun, and it's not that hard. As if they played it religiously, people would beat it much faster.
Yeah, but we're saying in the perspective of someone that just started playing that game, because we're comparing it to Rocket League, which is a good game to get into. If you're playing Rocket League RPGs for the first time, it's really hard, especially like bosses and everything, random encounters.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about story
All
mode
all
games.
all an RPG really needs is just being smart. That's mainly it.
All right, but in every different RPG game, you have to have a different level of smart. You have to have a level of smartness in a different area.
Yeah,
Say
like
it's having good vision or something. That's not going to apply for every single game.
it is true. Like if you're playing Final Fantasy VII and you're at the final boss Sephiroth, I mean, I think you're just gonna have to, yeah, you're gonna have to max out your leveling. You're gonna have to be at level like 99.
Yeah, so
And
it's not
you
always
have to grind a
just
lot.
being smart. It's being smart in multiple ways.
Yeah, like I was playing Mother 3 as well, and I just got stuck at this part where you have to fight some instruments, and you just have to do a lot of grinding.
Yeah, or when you play against a boss who has the same algorithm over and over, if you're able to keep track of how they do it, you could beat them. But for others, it's still going to be a different way to beat the boss. So I'd
Yeah.
say RPG games are very hard. But I'm not sure if you'd have to learn as many things as you do when you learn an FPS or Rocket League.
I mean, then again, RPGs, like there's a lot of different like gameplays, like the way you actually fight in games. Like there's turn based, there's rhythm games. Obviously, there's I don't know. There's a lot of
Rhythm games
there's a
are
lot.
definitely not as
Hey, what?
Rhythm games are definitely not as hard.
I mean,
Wait, Brent, you
but
played Friday Night Funkin' at an easy level.
I can beat every freaking week on hard. What do you mean?
Sure.
Well,
Okay,
you played
okay.
all
That's
of
gonna
I
be
will
that's
really
gonna be a
present
video.
my
That's
screen.
gonna be a video.
I will present my screen right
Nah,
now and
nah.
play every week on hard.
Wait, guys,
No, you play.
subscribe, and like the video if you want that to be a video in the future.
Watch me beat the whole game on hard. Okay, that's
Sure. Okay.
the one week I struggle with is week 7 because I haven't actually beat down on hard. Only normal. So
All right. I mean, I can't even say anything. I can't even get through past the second boss. But yeah, let's talk about some other genres. I guess let's do adventure as well. Adventure games like Zelda, Horizon Zero Dawn.
those are easy. Those
Yeah.
are very easy.
No. It would be easy to beat the game by itself, but if you're going to beat every single aspect and complete every challenge in it, that would be hard eventually.
That's only
Yeah.
gonna take time. It doesn't take strategy or anything. It's just gonna take time.
Nah,
All
trust
you
me,
gotta do
trust
is
me.
look up videos.
Dungeons. If you play the first Zelda game, the dungeons are insane. Trust me. You can't say that adventure games aren't hard if you're saying that the original
Well,
Zelda
those are
game
old
is
school
easy.
games. Old school games are meant to be hard.
Well, not really. They're just yeah, I guess yeah.
All of them were hard. You can't. I bet you can't name a single one that wasn't hard.
Oh yeah. How about
Watching me like 5.
what's it called Dig Dug?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what Dig Dug is?
No,
Wow.
not at all.
I can't believe it. Alright, how about Super Mario Kart?
Mario Kart.
No, Super Mario Kart. That was on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Man, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was pretty hard. But I mean, compared to other games, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, almost.
Alright, yeah, we should probably talk about some fighting games next. We obviously didn't talk about that, so yeah.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mortal Kombat, Street Fight.
Super Smash Bros.
Okay, so this is
Alright,
probably like
those-
the one game they can probably compete because what can I say? You have to learn combos. You have to learn a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, especially Melee.
Yeah, I
oh my
think for
god.
most people who play for fun, they would just smash the controller's buttons. But if you're playing competitively, it takes a lot of time learning techniques and strategies.
Yeah.
Like, say you learn every technique that move that your character can do, it's still about how you're going to implement it.
Yeah. I'll be dead
I
in the
think
ground
that's
before I
something
learn
that-
wave dashing.
That's something, yeah. Something that you also have to learn in Rocket League. If you're going to learn how to flip, reset, or musty, there's no point in learning if you're not going to learn how to implement it into gameplay in regular situations that you're going to be in a lot.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, let's try to talk about some of the other games. Like, what do you think of Tekken? Because I mean,
I haven't played Tekken.
well, I mean, I'm just going off what I've seen from the the character unveiling because I saw that the character had a lot of moves, and that was supposed to reflect his character inside the game. So I'm guessing that he's
Yeah,
really technical.
To be honest, it's not very technical. It's just doing a bunch of patterns with the controller. Like if
Yeah.
you can fighting games are
Naturally.
mainly about memorizing, and if you can find like a good flow with that memorization, then you can be a pretty good fighting game player. Yeah.
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 I mean, Super Smash Bros. Is different though.
One thing that I do think is easier than most games is the games like Forza and Asphalt.
Racing games are hard.
I
I
mean,
don't understand a single thing about them, so they're gonna be hard.
How do you have 1,000 hours in Rocket League and not understand racing games?
Okay, so I don't think you realize that there's a lot more complicated stuff in racing than you think.
Yeah, but at least you learn how to steer by now, right?
Yes, obviously.
I mean, did you actually
What?
play a racing game? Dismo
I played
beans.
Yes, I played Asphalt and Forza 2.
Forza 2. All right. Fair enough. I mean, I played Mario Kart, so I think I have the most experience here.
Yeah, I played Mario Kart. That game gets me pissed off. But I don't think it would take as long as it takes to memorize the
That's
flow of
true.
other games.
Mario
If
Kart
I-
is basically like a baby racing game, if you were to think about it.
Yeah, I think
It's just
if
a
you
fun party
really,
game.
if you really try grinding out one of those games for like a month, that you would get pretty above average in them.
I mean, those games are just made for fun and for parties.
Yeah.
It's not made for competitively. Nintendo's not about competitive play.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Especially with like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Try to make it as uncompetitive as possible.
Yeah. Alright, on that note, I think that's it for this video.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do
Yeah, I
our
think
final
that's it.
conclusions.
So let's just conclude on this one fact.
Final
Rocket League?
conclusion is that
FPS and Rocket League, same difficulty.
I mean, we can conclude that Rocket League is hard to actually become a pro at, but not hard to start playing.
Alright,
Well,
leave a
fun.
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment whatever you want.
Yeah.
Tell
if we
us
get to
what videos
25,000
you'd like
likes,
to see
I'll
in the
cut off
future.
all my fingers. Okay, I'm sorry.
What?
Tell us
New
what
video?
videos-
Alright. Yeah. That's pretty much it for this video. See you guys in the next one.
See ya.